dear listeners, are you richer than you think? The question is, are you waiting for wealth to arrive when you're already living inside parts of it? And that's the question.
You're listening to the Akinfemi Onadele Show, where we believe in today's fast-paced world, investing in your overall well-being is the most important decision you can make. Join us alongside a variety of guests as we discuss topics empowering you to become the best version of yourself. Enjoy.
Let's be real for a second. We're living in peculiar times. Between rising inflation and the pressure to perform, it's so easy to let anxiety take the driver's seat. I know the feeling. When you're carrying every goal, every worry, and every to-do only in your head. But here's the truth. Even when you feel like you've messed up, it is not the end of the world. That is exactly why I created the LDP bracelet. It's more than inspiration jewelry. It's a tool to center yourself. It's a stylish reminder that stays on you and with you at all times, moving the commitment to learning, doing, and progressing from just a thought in your mind to a physical weight on your wrist. We only have 28 pieces available in this limited run. If you need a physical anchor to keep you pushing through these times, go to the link in the show notes right below. Stop carrying it all in your head. Start wearing your progress.
Peace and prosperous blessings, everyday heroes. Very, 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 very nice day here. I'm recording this on a Sunday, and it feels good to be back. How have you been? How on that day? How family? How's your well-being? Me, I cannot complain. So what have I been up to since we finished physical wealth? Living life, investing in my values, investing in my well-being, being a husband, father, investing in my physical wealth, of course. Shout out to all my physical wealth people. It was a wonderful time. Shout out to all my guests. And shout out to everybody that's focused on living an intentional life, living in alignment with their soul, and focused on leaving a legacy. Hats off to you. You know, in Nigeria today, it takes a lot of courage to follow and chase your goals. So, you're the real hero. That being said, I have a lot to be thankful for, to be grateful for, because I know that I'm not measuring my life based on what society is telling me and what we have in store this part of the season. By the end of it, you would also not be measuring your life, and you see how much wealth you have. You will see that you are a lot richer than you think you are. I've enjoyed getting closer to God. I don't know who else is a big fan of listening to like Bible music on like Spotify. Open my eyes that I may behold wonderful things of your law. I love meditating to that. That's it's a wonderful Psalms. I believe it's Psalm 119 verse 18, and it just loop it. It's one of my favorite ways to start the day. I've been doing that for a while. But also just listening to the Bible on Spotify is pretty cool, and I just love what creatives are doing with that. Helps you really immerse yourself in the Bible. And of course, you know, still reading the 5 Pillars of Wealth. I love to present to you about time wealth. We'll share more of that in the episode. Read a few books. So reading the Bible. Yes, of course, during Easter. Easter was wonderful. Really understanding the power of resurrection. And then I started reading. I think I started from Luke. So I did Luke, John. Now I'm in Acts. And yeah, I really felt the power of his style. Wifey insisted that we watch The Passion of the Christ. Reluctantly, I was like, nah, I don't really want to. But she was like, what, you've not done this before, so you have to. And yeah, it was good. And that's what led into me reading Luke, John, and Acts, and really now connecting. I'm really understanding, the sacrifice of Jesus for us. It's been wonderful. Books, yes, of course. We're going to talk about books. Indistractable by Neil Ayal is one I'm reading. Don't Believe Everything You Think. That's a great book. That's my favorite book this year. Time Anxiety by Chris Galileo. Yeah, I think those are the books I'll be reading. Of course, still reading Buy Back Your Time. So my guests who we talk a lot, they know I'm a big fan of Buy Back Your Time. So these are kind of the books I will be talking about this time around. But again, it's a time to remind ourselves of Habakkuk 2 verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. This is the epitome of soul alignment, when everything aligns. It's not just about, even though, again, over 19 years in finance, over 7 years in investment banking, finance is important, but then you see that when we understand the concept of time wealth, you will value even time as more than just, what your clock is saying. And I'm so happy to share that with you. And now we hear a beautiful rendition of my wife reading 5 Types of Wealth, an excerpt from the book, not the whole book, sharing the author's wonderful story about 15 visits, the conversation that changed his life. Listen and enjoy.
On a warm California evening in May 2021, I sat down for a drink with an old friend. As we settled in, he asked how I was doing. At first, I gave him the standard response we've all grown so accustomed to. I'm good. Busy. I said it with all the unintended irony of the modern era where busy is a badge of honor. As if being more stressed is something to be proud of. When I asked him the same, he replied that he was making time for the important things. That unexpected vulnerability opened a new track in our conversation. I admitted that living in California had begun to wear on me, being so far from my aging parents on the East Coast. This honesty sparked this interaction that actually altered the course of my life. Friend.
How often do you see your parents?
Maybe once a year right now. Friend.
And how old are they?
Mid-60s. Friend.
Okay. So you're basically going to see your parents 15 more times before they die.
God punch. Wow. It wasn't meant to be insensitive. It was just math. The average life expectancy is approximately 80 years. My parents were in their mid-60s and I saw them once per year. The math said I would see them 15 more times before they were gone. This was the math that broke me. It was the math that changed my life. It hit me. I wasn't playing the wrong game. I was just playing the game wrong. The scoreboard was the problem. Our current scoreboard is broken. It forces us into a narrow measurement of success entirely defined by money. And what you measure matters. If we measure only money, all of our actions will revolve around it. But if we fix that scoreboard to measure our wealth more comprehensively through time, people, purpose, and health, our actions will follow. We'll finally play the game right. right scoreboard, right actions.
Wonderful reading from Wifey for Lifey. And that led me to a realization. And the realization is that some of the things that I thought money would give me arrived before the money even came. And that brings us to the idea of time wealth. What is time wealth? Having increasing control over how I spend my time, who I spend it with, and what I give my attention to. It makes me so excited that you know that you wake up and you have that freedom to align your days with your values, not just your calendar, not just your bank account. And when I look at my life today, that's what I realize. That I might not have hit every financial goal I've set. Actually, I've not hit a lot of them. But I already have more time wealth than I did 5 years ago. And I spend it meaningfully with my wife, shout out Wifey for Lifey, with my boy, Z, and with Don Baba J, God. And also doing work that ignites me, that fuels me, that makes me feel a life of purpose. And live a life of purpose, because that's what well-being is. That's what this journey of well-being is all about. And guess what? That gives me increasing control about how I design my days. That's time wealth. And I can wish nothing else but the same for you, everyday heroes. So over the next episodes, we're going to deep dive how you can achieve more of this. To already know that you are wealthy beyond what you can ever imagine. And that brings us to the subject of this. You are richer than you think. And here's why. Listen to my story. Around 2019, I had set myself the goal of achieving financial freedom, and not a small goal. The way I worked it out, I needed $5 million. And I was going to give myself 5 years to achieve that. So much that when I started my lovely wife, before we started dating, when we had our first date, so dating being, you go out for a date and, she told me what she wanted. And I'm not the guy for you. I have a 5-year plan to achieve my financial freedom, and relationships are not in for me. It's just going to be a distraction. This is know what God had in plan for me. Basically, it was about what I wanted, what Akinfemi wanted at the time. $5 million. If I have that $5 million, just investing that and living on the dividends of that, I'm living my balling life. And that was it. What did that give me? Mobility, globally, more options, success. And that was everything. Only to find out, later, 4 or 5 months later, my friend decided to give it a go, and here we are. So what's the verdict? 2026, June, I do not have $5 million. And as I'm thinking, now I understand the concept of just thinking about it. What is it that I really wanted when I said I want $5 million? What is it that I really wanted? And when I thought about it deeply, although quite painfully, I must confess, is I wanted freedom, or I want freedom, I want respect, and I want peace. No particular order. That's what I really desired. But let's reflect on my actual life right now. What is true is I'm a husband to a beautiful wife. I'm a father to a wonderful son. And I have a lot of autonomy in the way I work, which allows me to have meaningful time with my son. I get to drop him at school, I get to pick him. And that's awesome. I have a lot of control over my schedule. I have the freedom to structure my days. I genuinely enjoy what I do. My faith is stronger. This is not something that I planned for. I have purpose in the work I do with TAOS and with Flight. And I'm present for what matters the most. And this is a key observation. Because it means that even though I don't have that $5 million, even though I'm still striving to have that financial freedom, I already have respect. I already have freedom, and I already have peace. Peace comes every day from God and having a wonderful wife. Respect comes from my wife and everyone around me, especially those I work with and those who are also on the journey of building a family. And I have peace because I enjoy what I do and enjoy time with my family and I enjoy time with God so much, as you already know from this episode. So I'm not as poor as I thought I was, because I already have those things. And the question is for you, dear listeners, are you richer than you think? The question is, are you waiting for wealth to arrive when you're already living inside parts of it? And that's the question. You may be like me and you expect, oh fine, you need to have millions of dollars, billions. Now we have a whole Elon Musk as a trillionaire, so you need trillions, right? You need global mobility, you need more options. But you already have meaning, you have faith, you have purpose, and you have autonomy. Now, if you don't have these things, this is what the part of the season is about. We'll be exploring. And I'm so happy to have you along. And if you're a listener coming from season 1 or earlier parts of season 2, wherever you are, you understand the importance of living a life of purpose and intentionality and alignment. Shout out to you. Okay, we're stopping to talk about what we watch. And right now I'm currently watching Landman. This was recommended by this wonderful guy called Nosa on Instagram. Shout out to you. He spoke about Landman being one of the best reflections of the oil and gas industry, and it's a great show. Main star is Billy Bob Thornton, and I'm truly enjoying it. I never knew how oil and gas is so interesting and so embedded in everything we do. So I'll be giving you more updates on how that's going. But what I love about it is I love how he's so dedicated to his work. I love the tension and the struggles that he faces, balancing that with the people that matter most, but still in his own special way showing up. I love the guy's business savviness. Like, I think he's the best business development character I've seen in a long time. Well done, and well done, well written story. Stars John Hamm as well. You might know him from Mad Men, and movie buffs will also know Ali Lata is also the love interest of Billy Bob. Billy Bob killed it. I wonder if he's a method actor, but he's so believable in the role, and I'm really enjoying it. He has an IMDb rating of 8.2 out of 10, and maybe I'll share more, but I definitely recommend it. You know, there are always so many options, especially around the summer. Like, Netflix is releasing content left, right, and center. You know, I saw that they dropped a lot of old James Bond movies, not old, the Daniel Craig ones. So yeah, there's a lot of options, but I recommend this if you want to understand oil and gas, if you want to see good drama. This is a wonderful, wonderful recommendation that I would give. I'm actually shooting this on Father's Day, so shout out to all the fathers, man. Yeah, we need to relax sometimes. So I recommend that one. It's a wonderful watch. There are other things that I've watched in the time I've not been around. So, like I said, Passion of the Christ was a good watch. Wifey and I watched Beauty in Black. Very, very dramatic show. It's cool. Watched a bunch of things. I'll talk about those in the future, so I'm not on the dwell on that. Okay, back to the episode. So it takes a lot of courage to really live this life, but most importantly, when you realize you're richer than you think, it allows you to really double down on giving life, giving energy to things that you truly value. And I thank God that that's what I'm doing. I thank God that I'm not going to see my parents only 15 more times before they die. They're very healthy people, but that being said, we talk all the time, and I try and see them once every 2 weeks. I'm glad that their grandchild Z, and my boy, has a relationship with them, and that really warms my heart. And yeah, shout out, special Father's Day to my OG. He's doing great. He's healthy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. So guys, man, appreciate your fathers, appreciate your parents. I'm not forcing you. Some people don't really value family because, you know, in preparing for this episode, there are conversations about how, shout out to Mo, shout out to Michael, but yes, even though we have time, as young people, some of us, the environment has conditioned us not to really value family. And I understand that. And maybe that's something we'll talk more about specifically or in addition to the episodes in this part of the arc. But whatever your values are, I believe that if you have time and you don't have that money yet, you'll be surprised when you reflect how much you really already have what you always wanted, and even then, and then some, just like in my case. Before we go, everyday heroes, I have a challenge for you, and it's worth doing this. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about time wealth. But before we talk about building more wealth, let's recognize the wealth we already have. Here's the challenge, guys. Take out a sheet of paper and create what Sahil Bloom calls the reverse bucket list. The reverse bucket list. Like the reverse of a bucket list. Get it? Instead of writing everything you still want to do, write down 10 things you've already achieved. 10 things you've already achieved. 2, 10 prayers that you have already seen answered. And 3, 10 things your younger self will be proud of. That's it. Read it every morning for the next 7 days. Of course, you're not going to see that life is perfect too. Not because there are not goals that you still want to achieve, but because you have been focusing on what's missing and lost sight of what's actually present. This is what it means to measure our lives differently. You would see family, health, faith, friendships, freedom, time, and then some. So before our next episode, guys, create your reverse bucket list and spend a few moments reflecting on this. Am I richer than I think? Before we close, guys, I love to hear from you. If you do the reverse bucket challenge, share one thing your younger self will be proud of today. Send it to us on social media or tag us in your reflections. That would be awesome. And if this episode helped you see your life differently, share it with someone who may be feeling behind. Someone who needs this reminder that wealth is bigger than money. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the show so you don't miss the rest of the Time Wealth series. YouTube, just turn on notifications. Subscribe. And wherever you're joining us from, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What one form of wealth in your life haven't you been measuring enough? Many of us spend our lives chasing what we don't have while overlooking what we already do. I personally have had these seasons. Not only the gap I did focus on, but lately I'm learning to see things differently. The wealth of faith, family, the wealth of friendships, the wealth of purpose, and time. I'm a billionaire in time. So over the coming weeks, we'll explore what it means to move from time anxiety to time wealth. Wealth. Not just managing my schedule better, but becoming more productive. And I know it will be the same for you too. Let's learn how to live. I like that. Let's learn how to live. Not just be alive, live. And we do this by learning how to align our lives with what matters the most. Habakkuk 2:3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. The vision hasn't failed. Maybe you're not behind. Maybe you're simply in a season. And maybe the appointed time is still ahead. My name is Akinfemi Onadele, and this is TAOS. And as always, peace and life's richest blessings. You're not behind. God bless you. Before I go, if today's episode resonated with you, you want to check out our LDP bracelet from Friends Gems. LDP stands for Learning, Doing, and Progressing. It's a philosophy that has changed my life, as you may already know. If you're new, you don't. But you have to keep learning, keep doing, keep progressing. Not perfectly. Not even overnight though, but just consistently. Limited number of bracelets are available. Check details in the show notes. Until next time, keep learning, keep doing, keep progressing.
Thanks for listening to the Akinfemi Onadele Show. Check out www.akinfemionadele.com for more info, articles, and ideas about how to boost your well-being.